Hi everybody. So today we will be discussing about adding real numbers, and so our goal is to find sums of real numbers. So let's use our number line to show how to do addition. So what is the sum of each number, and use the number line. So for example, we have 3 plus 5. Now we start with 3, and this is, oh sorry, my bad. So this is where we start from here, and we are adding 5. So when you are adding 5, that is going to the right. So from here, you add 5, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so 3 plus 5 is going to be equal to 8. Okay. Next, we have the same number, but this time it's going to be plus -5. So if we are adding a negative number, we are going to the left. So again, we start from 3. And this time we are adding 5, but going to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so from our number line, 3 plus -5 is going to be -2. So we have the next 2 examples here. All right. So again, if it is adding a positive number, it's going to the right. If you are adding a negative number, you are going to the left. So this time our starting reference number is -3, and we are adding 5. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will see that, I'm sorry, I forgot that one. So it's going to be -3 plus 5. We end up with +2, -3, and going to adding -5. So it's going to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be -3 plus -5. That's going to be -8. All right. Now we cannot always use the number line to do that, and so we have some terms here that will help us do our addition of real numbers way easier. So when we talk about absolute value, it is the number's distance from 0 on a number line. Now when we talk about absolute value, it is always non-negative. Distance is always a non-negative value. So whether you have a positive number or a negative number, when we talk about absolute value, we are just talking about its legit distance. Okay. And so when we are adding real numbers based on the examples that we have seen earlier with the number line, we can conclude that if we are adding numbers with the same sign, you simply add the 2 numbers and you keep the sign. Okay, you just add them. If they are both positive, the answer will be positive. Both negative, you add them and the answer will be negative. But you will notice that when you are adding numbers with different signs, you are technically going to subtract the absolute value. Now, whatever will be the answer, so when you subtract the absolute values, the sign of the final answer will be following whatever the sign of the number with a greater absolute value. Okay, so let's have some examples for this. So let's have -12 plus 7. So this is negative, this is a +7. So we are going to subtract 12 and 7. Okay. And what will this give us? This is going to give us a 5. Now between 12 and 7, which is the higher value? 12 is higher, and as you can see, the sign of 12 is negative, and so our final answer will be -5. Okay. All right, so try to see. We have a negative and we are adding another negative. So in this case, because we're adding the same signs, we will add their absolute values. Okay, so that would be 18 and 2. And that's going to give us 20, but because both of them are negative, when you're adding the same, they get the same sign. Okay. Let's have the next one. You have negative 4.8 and 9.5. So try to give the answer to this one. And then we will discuss 3 over 4 plus negative 5 over 6. All right, so if you have a positive 4.7 for our third example, then you got it correctly. Now with our last example, it's a special case. Why? Because it's fraction. All right. So what we do is first, because they are different denominators, we have to make them the same denominator. Now between 4 and 6, the LCD will be 12. Okay, so we can make them both 12. And this is gonna be 12 also. All right. So 3 over 4, so 12 divided by 4, that will be 3. Multiplied by 3, that will give us 9. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Multiplied by 5, that's going to be 10. So what we are looking at right now is we are adding 9 over 12 and negative 10 over 12. And so we can see that they are different signs. So what we will do is we will subtract the numbers, their absolute values, okay? And since they have now the same denominator, we can just use 12 as a denominator. So 10 minus 9, that will be a 1. And then that's over 12. Now between 9 and 10, 10 is higher and the sign of 10 is negative. Therefore, our final answer here will be negative 1 over 12.